Cole Caulfield? Nah. Jason Robertson? Nah. Alex DeBrincat? Hell nah. All these guys are not on Team USA at the Olympics. But this guy, he is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about JT Miller today, and we're also diving into some other Rangers trade discourse that does involve the Detroit Red Wings, courtesy of what Elliotte Friedman went out there and posted about on 32 Thoughts last night. But first, let's talk about JT Miller, because this comment here from Miller leads directly into what Friedman said about him in 32 Thoughts. Did Elliotte Friedman just call out JT? Let's dive into the scoop. So earlier, JT Miller had a message heading into the Olympic break for the New York Rangers, what they should be doing, and what their fans should hope for out of this team. I literally don't know. Come back with a better mindset, I guess. JT Miller on the message heading into the Olympic break. Now, the funny part is, this guy has said I don't know to every question about the team for the last 2 months. Alster's saying that he's the worst captain in the NHL. Lafreniere for MVP says, oh, he's an amazing captain. Balanced New York fan says the media has got to give these guys a break. What do you want Miller to say? Just skip the bogus, repetitive questions and let him go home. Be back next year. No BS. FU type of team. JT quitter might quit on the Rangers too. What leader says this? Okay, look. I'm gonna probably catch a little bit of flack for bringing this up again because we always like to talk about JT, but Rangers fans are not feeling it right now, especially with all the not knowing and not being too aware as to how things are and what things should be like for this Rangers squad. JT has had maybe some of the worst answers we have seen out of an NHL captain this season, and all these media interviews always saying that he doesn't know what happened, he doesn't know why they're performing like this. Now he doesn't know what the message is for the Rangers heading into the Olympic break, where he will be participating for Team USA. This was expanded upon even more by Elliotte Friedman on his Written 32 Thoughts podcast earlier yesterday. As we had noted, this was posted on 11:26 p.m. February 5th here on the Pacific Coast, so 2 a.m. in the morning if you are in New York. But if we scroll down on Elliotte's 32 Thoughts, how Artemi Panarin ended up with the LA Kings, you will see a conversation about JT Miller. Scrolling down, okay, here it is. Mike Sullivan and JT Miller are on a business trip to Italy. Gold is the goal for Team USA, and nothing can get in the way. But at some point, they need to sit down and discuss some Rangers. I understand that losing sucks, and Miller doesn't want to pour gasoline on the fire with his post-game commentary. But there has to be a better way than how he is answering questions right now. It's only inflaming tensions. Mike Sullivan clearly is just as frustrated, feeling his message is not getting through. He's the coach and Miller is the captain. They have to work with each other to make it better. Or the Rangers are going to have to change something there too. Even Elliotte Friedman, the peacemaker, is going out there and saying, yeah, JT, he's got to be better with the media. He can't be going out there saying that he doesn't know stuff. He can't be going out there not having any answers. This guy has been the captain of one of the most disappointing franchises this season, and his play has not lived up to the expectations of a 100-point scorer from 2 seasons ago coming over to a brand new team that he wanted to go to. This is not it for JT. Elliotte Friedman is not letting the guy off easy. And I think this might be, like, the most direct, and I don't want to use the word brutal, but the most in-your-face type of negative commentary that Elliotte Friedman has tossed towards an NHL player in the past. I understand losing sucks, and Miller doesn't want to pour gasoline on the fire, but there's gotta be a way that's better than how he's answering questions. It's making it worse. That's Elliotte Friedman, man. That's some pretty big commentary on his behalf. Now, speaking about the Detroit Red Wings, because I did say we'd talk about Detroit as well, let's read some of the first two thoughts on this Elliotte Friedman piece. Firstly, Artemi Panarin's arrival does not diminish the LA Kings' desire for a center. There were reports they tried to add Vinny Trocheck to the deal. I can't speak to that, but word is Trocheck prefers to stay east with what control he has. That doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but it is his preference at this time. Talking on TNT Thursday night, Ken Holland mentioned Warren Foegele, who has been a scratch, as someone he'll need to move. And Elliott's second thought, by the way, Detroit? They went hard at Trocheck when he was a UFA. The Rangers beat them for his services. Now, obviously, Friedman is not necessarily saying anything. He's just acknowledging that the Detroit Red Wings were a team in the Trocheck mix once upon a time, all those years ago. Vinny Trocheck is 32 years old. He is also an Olympian. He's got 36 points this year in 43 games. Pretty decent point-per-game number, but obviously he has had better seasons in the past. 77 points in 82 games 2 years ago, and way over a point per game in the playoffs for NYR. That was a solid year for Vinny Trocheck. He also had a 70-plus point campaign with the Panthers in 2018, got sent over to Carolina for a brief stint in the 2020s, and then became a free agent, where he signed a $5.625 million AAV deal for 7 years with New York in 2022. Detroit was in the mix, but that was 4 years ago. Trocheck was 28, he is now 32. Obviously, he's a childhood friend of JT Miller's, which you can say what you want about that. There's an entire element of the fact that they were good, close, hardworking buddies that are now on Team USA together at the Olympics that really makes a lot of fans facepalm, it seems. But Vinny Trocheck is a guy whose name was apparently tossed into those Panarin trade talks with the LA Kings. If LA could have acquired Trocheck as well, then maybe New York could have gotten a first-round pick. Who knows? Either way, Trocheck is having a pretty solid year. He's a reasonably good top six center. There's always a benefit of the doubt for anybody who's playing on New York. I'd say aside Artemi Panarin, whose production is still absolutely elite, there is a reasonable expectation that players can explode more if they go to brand new franchises. And Vinny Trocheck, I think, is one of those guys. He plays the right way. He's a solid center. There's a lot to like out of his game. And the implication here from Friedman is, hey, the Red Wings, they are a pretty good team this year. You take a look at the standings. They're one of the top in the Atlantic, tied with Montreal for second place. They're in the playoff mix. They have a high chance of making the dance this season, and they need a center. Can they go out there and make a trade with a vulnerable New York team to grab Vinny Trocheck and bring him to Detroit? It's in the East. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He grew up in this area with JT Miller in PA. It's not like he'd be going too far out. LA, for example. Is Vinny Trocheck a trade option for the Detroit Red Wings? That is what Elliotte Friedman is essentially implying. Subliminally implying. He's not directly saying it, but he is acknowledging that there was interest in the past. Stevie Y was interested in this guy at 28 years old. Is he still interested in the guy now at 32? That's the ultimate question. And if you are a New York Rangers fan, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. One, how has Vinny Trocheck played this season? What are your opinions on how he has progressed, and what's your evaluation of his overall gameplay? What do you think the price should be in a Vinny Trocheck trade? What would you like to see come back to New York? And in regards to JT Miller, how do you feel about this guy going out there and saying that he's got no idea what the message is to the New York Rangers team and fans should be heading into the Olympic break? It's very rare to see Elliotte Friedman straight up go out there and call guys out on his 32 Thoughts articles, but he did that with JT. The guy's got to be better at answering questions. Do you agree with that? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. JT Miller, Vinny Trocheck, Detroit, yay or nay? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.